long ago, in the celestial realms of Mount Kailash, where the air was perfumed with sacred incense and the rivers sang hymns of devotion, the great goddess Parvati sat in her golden palace. Her husband, Lord Shiva, the mighty destroyer of evil, was often away, meditating in the deepest forests or battling demons to protect the cosmos. Though surrounded by divine attendants, Parvati sometimes felt lonely in her solitude. One day, as she prepared for her bath, she longed for a guardian, someone loyal, someone who would be hers alone. With a mother's yearning in her heart, she decided to create a son. She scooped a handful of turmeric paste from her own skin, for turmeric was pure and held the essence of her divine power. Molding it with love, she shaped a paste into the form of a boy, strong, radiant, and full of life. Breathing her divine energy into the figure, she whispered a mother's blessing, and instantly the figure stirred. His eyes opened, shining with innocence and devotion. Overjoyed, Parvati embraced him and said, "You are my son, born of my love and will. Your name shall be Ganesha." She adorned him with jewels and blessed him with strength, then entrusted him with a sacred duty. "Stand guard at my door," she instructed. "Let no one enter without my permission." Young Ganesha, eager to please his mother, took his place at the entrance, clutching a golden staff. He stood tall, proud, and unwavering, a devoted son ready to fulfill his mother's command. Little did he know that his loyalty would soon be tested in a way no one could have foreseen. As young Ganesha stood vigil at the entrance of Parvati's chambers, the winds carried whispers of an approaching presence. It was none other than Lord Shiva himself, returning from his meditations, his matted locks flowing like the rivers of time, his third eye half-lidded in eternal calm. Seeing a strange boy barring his way, Shiva paused. He had never seen this child before, and yet the boy stood with unwavering determination, blocking the entrance to his own home. "Step aside, child," Shiva commanded, his voice deep as thunder. "This is my abode, and none may forbid me entry." But Ganesha, bound by his mother's orders, did not yield. "My mother has instructed me to allow no one inside without her permission," he declared. "Until she commands otherwise, I cannot let you pass." Shiva was taken aback. Who was this bold child who dared to defy him? The attendants trembled, for they knew the wrath of Shiva was terrible when provoked. Yet Ganesha stood firm, his loyalty to his mother stronger than any fear. A storm brewed in Shiva's heart. How could this young boy, unknown to him, claim authority over his own home? Was this some trick, some illusion cast by an enemy? His patience waning, Shiva ordered his Ganas, his fierce celestial followers, to remove the boy by force. But to everyone's astonishment, Ganesha fought like a warrior. He struck down the Ganas with his staff, his strength far beyond that of an ordinary child. The earth trembled as the battle raged, and even the gods turned their gaze toward Mount Kailash, sensing the unfolding conflict. Shiva, seeing his forces defeated, realized this was no ordinary boy. A mix of pride and fury surged within him. If this child would not yield, then he would face the consequences. With a terrible resolve, Shiva raised his trident, the very weapon that could shatter the universe, and in one swift, tragic strike, Ganesha's head was severed from his body. Silence fell upon the cosmos. Parvati, sensing the disturbance, rushed outside, only to find her beloved son lying lifeless, his head gone. Her grief erupted like a tempest, shaking the heavens and the earth. The mother's sorrow was so immense that the stars dimmed and the gods themselves wept. Shiva, realizing the gravity of what he had done, stood frozen. The boy he had struck down was no intruder. He was Parvati's own son. His heart filled with remorse, but the deed could not be undone. The heavens trembled under the weight of Parvati's grief. Her sorrow was so immense that rivers halted their flow, winds ceased their whispers, and even the gods covered their faces in mourning. She turned to Shiva, her eyes burning with righteous fury. "You have taken my son from me," she declared, her voice shaking the pillars of creation. "Now you must bring him back." Shiva, burdened by regret, knew he had to act swiftly. He summoned his Ganas and issued a command that echoed across the three worlds. "Go forth, find the first living being you encounter, and bring me its head. My son shall live again." The Ganas raced through the forests, their torches cutting through the night like shooting stars. They searched high and low, but no creature crossed their path, until at last, beneath the silver glow of the moon, they spotted a mighty elephant. This was no ordinary beast. It was Airavata's kin, a celestial elephant of purest white, its tusks like polished ivory, its eyes holding the wisdom of ages. The Ganas hesitated, for such a noble creature was sacred, but Shiva's order was absolute. With a heavy heart, they severed the elephant's head and carried it back to Mount Kailash. Shiva took the head in his hands and approached Ganesha's lifeless body. Chanting the most ancient of mantras, he placed the elephant's head upon the boy's shoulders and infused it with divine breath. A great light erupted, brighter than 1,000 suns, and Ganesha stirred. His eyelids fluttered open, his trunk twitched, and he rose alive once more. Parvati rushed forward, tears of joy streaming down her face as she embraced her son. But as she looked upon him, she saw that he was no longer the child she had molded from turmeric paste. He was something greater now, a being both familiar and wondrously new. Shiva, his voice thick with emotion, placed his hand upon Ganesha's head. "From this day forward, you shall be known as Ganapati, Lord of all beings. No obstacle shall stand in your way, and no prayer shall begin without your name. You are my son, reborn with wisdom beyond measure." The gods themselves descended from the heavens, showering blessings upon Ganesha. And that, my friends, is the tale of Lord Ganesha. To keep listening to more stories like this, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Until next time, this is Uncle Ben, signing off. Take care, and may the gods watch over you.